Going on, people, we are Tottenham TV here. Spurs have beaten Doncaster 3-0 to sail through to the fourth round of the Carabao Cup. We await the draw for the fourth round, which we'll bring to you live on this stream. Arsenal currently 5 minutes to go. They've just actually taken a 2-0 lead.
Yep.
So they're going to be in the next round of the Cup, and we'll wait to see what the draw brings in that round. But this is a reaction to Spurs' 3-0 win against Doncaster. Here with Brian Daigle in the studio, in the flesh, and this season anyway, he's got a great record now when it comes to being in the studio on watch-alongs. 100% record this season, starting with a 3-0 win. It was a pretty simple day at the office for Thomas Frank. He made changes. He rested some players. He played a fairly strong team, maybe stronger than quite a few teams quite a few people were anticipating. Got the job done with kind of minimal fuss. Didn't really get out of kind of second gear today, maybe even third gear, you could say. Doncaster did provide a bit of a challenge throughout the game, especially on the kind of wide areas, getting some crosses in. Kinski had to make one save onto the post, had a lot of set pieces, but, you know, Paulinho moved to centre-back. It was as if it was his position. He played there as well as any other centre-back has done this season, partnered with Dan. So that experience getting him through the game. He got the opening goal as well. Overhead kick into an open goal from a corner, from a weak punch from the goalkeeper. Own goal caused by Wilson Odegaard, giving Tottenham a 2-0 lead after he runs down the left, attacks his fullback, cuts it across, and it's an own goal. And wrapped up right at the end through Brennan Johnson with a really nice through ball from Bergvall. Last kick of the game, little chip, as you said on the watch-along, very reminiscent of his goal against Coventry last season, late in the game. Job done today, really. Into the next round, minimal fuss. What do you reckon, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, you look at it, the most important thing when we saw this tie is don't let it be a banana skin.
Yeah.
Just get the job done. Rest some players, which he did. Bring some players in and give them the minutes they need, with it being a 4-competition season. He's done that. Another clean sheet. Yeah, it wasn't a free-flowing time, but like I said, we're conserving energy. We're not going full throttle, every single game. Job done. Nice, convincing 3-0 win. Nice to see Archie Gray. Nice to see how comfortable Paulinho looked in defence whilst we wait for Dragusin to come back. It's nice to know that there's that option, that he can drop back there as well. Danso always look. Porro as captain. Lucas Barnett Williams on the pitch as well. A lot of things to take from the game, but most importantly, we're into the next round of the Cup. Yeah, and it's pretty kind of easy as you like, I think, when it comes to how the goals came. We didn't have to work too hard for them. A set piece for the Paulinho on which the goalkeeper for Doncaster, Lawler, weak punch, just forced Paulinho, pretty simple, forced an own goal for the second one, and the third one comes right at the end. I guess some talking points when it comes to players on the pitch. As you say, Archie Gray got a chance in the middle, in midfield. Yep. I think took it really well. I thought throughout the game was making some really really smart runs in the pockets of space on the wing and the wide areas inside the box, consistently found either by Bentancur or Porro down the right-hand side. Always stretching that Doncaster kind of back line, always asking a defender or midfielder to track him or a defender to go over to him. And it kind of just made things uncomfortable for Doncaster. And in the middle, I thought combative, spraying some really good passes out wide. Really kind of complete performance from Archie Gray. It was. And Joe, why I said man of the match for me, I can understand when we asked the chat why they said Paulinho and Danso, because they did look very solid, and obviously Paulinho got the goal. But there is a large section of this fan base that think Gray's not good enough. Where's he going to play? We need to send him out on loan. He needs to sell him because he's not good enough. And obviously he played in a team last season that was injury ravaged, and all in different variants of positions, and hardly in midfield apart from Anfield away, where obviously it was a nightmare for him. And we wanted to see him in midfield. And what I am loving seeing him is how advanced he's getting. We all thought this number 6, he looked very, very sharp on the ball today, was always available around Brennan, did the midfield duties well, but was offering an attacking option. And like when you were saying you want to see more attacking
I wouldn't have thought you'd see that with Archie Gray, but I think it was a very, very solid performance from him, and one that hopefully people can see. I know, again, people will say it's only Doncaster, but look how bad we were against Coventry last year. I know Doncaster are a league below, but these games can be very, very tough no matter who you are.
Yeah.
Just look at Manchester United with Grimsby. And
these games very seldom live long in the memory.
Exactly.
There's a third round, the Carabao.
Yep.
You know, very often it's just about getting through. And
Correct.
It doesn't really matter how well you play. And to be fair, we were in control for most of it.
Yeah. I mean, I will say again, very impressed with the way Doncaster played football.
Yeah.
They played some lovely... a lot of these teams, League One, they'll play Route 1 or... They played some lovely football and had some very good spells in the match. But I think, again, with that, our midfield and defensive structure is such a well-organised team right now, and they're being drilled well and positioned well, that they could just withstand everything that was being thrown at them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it was kind of a job well done. You know, he was able to rest the likes of Romero, Van de Ven, Kudus. That, and obviously with Charlatan had rest for the majority of the game.
Yep.
I think that was obviously what this game was about. Getting through this tie without having to overplay some very important players in the squad. He gave a rest to players who needed to, and we got the job done with minimal fuss and a clean sheet as well. So pretty good. In what we said before the game, you know, the front three, Tell, Johnson, Odebear, all kind of vying for that left wing spot on Premier League and Champions League games. So big day for kind of all three of them. Odebear ended the day with an assist. Johnson ended the day with a goal, and Tell, unfortunately, ended the day probably most remembered for 2 missed kicks.
Yep.
Tough day for him, wasn't it? You have to say.
Yeah, especially the thing is, we all say being a striker could be a confidence thing, and even Alan Shearer said it's not about missing the chances, it's making sure you're there to get the chances. He was there for the chances, but it was just whether it was lack of concentration, whatever it may be. Those 2 opportunities he had that were the air shots, that they were on a plate for him, weren't they? They were literally...
Especially the first one.
Yeah, they were literally... I actually think the second one more, because the defender was... coming out, Johnson pulled it back for the second one, didn't he?
Yeah.
And
they were trying their best to get him on the score sheet.
Exactly. He had that one powerful shot. I do like some of the stuff that he did out wide, like when he was going on those runs and bringing the ball down, but he needs to do something to get this. The confidence will come, but just something needs to break for him, doesn't it?
Yeah, and there was a moment in the game where I did hear the crowd getting on his back a bit. He was taking kind of too long on the ball, and he got caught and gave away a throw, and never like to see that. He's still a very young player. But look, I'm one of, obviously, Tell's biggest kind of defenders. I'm a big believer in his talent. I truly believe out of him, Johnson and Odebear, I really believe he has the most talent out of the 3. But I have to admit, he's obviously playing the worst out of the 3 at the moment, and that's absolutely right. And today, it was a tough day for him. It was also an important day for him because we know him not being in Champions League squad, his chances are going to be limited. So on days like today, he's got to grab that opportunity with both hands. A bit like, you know, Richarlison, when he got the opportunity to start with Solanke injured, he grabbed that opportunity, scored a brace, and really took it. Tell, unfortunately, is just not doing that right now, and it's difficult to justify picking him when he's in this kind of form. And look, I believe in his talent, but he's just something's got to change for him at the moment. Maybe he's got to spend a bit more time out on the left. He's got to be used more there. He didn't seem comfortable up front. But it is Doncaster. You expect to see a lot more from him today. Odebear caused problems down the left and got an assist, although was sloppy a bit in the second half. Johnson was a real threat down the right-hand side throughout the game, I have to say, and was providing really good cutbacks, good crosses, and obviously ended up with the goal as well. So when it comes to who's kind of earning that spot, it's tough to really justify its Tell at the moment, and the other 2 are ahead of him in the pecking order right now. Yeah,
do you know what? Out of the 3, I have to say that Odebear's number 1. And the only reason I say that as well, because you can see the difference of Johnson in the right than you do to the left. In the left, it's literally been at the far post for a goal. That's it. There's been no build-up play or whatever.
And I think I know why is because he's very much a guy who likes to run in a straight line.
Yep.
You see Odobert, he's very flexible. He can weave in and out of challenges. Whereas Johnson, when he runs, he's running straight.
Yep.
So when he's on the left and he's running straight down the line, he has to be on his left foot. And he's just not as comfortable on his left foot as he on his right foot. Although his left foot when he's finishing isn't bad. When he runs down the line on his right foot and he gets that cut back on his right, there he can really whip them and he can really pick a player out and he's very, very comfortable. And he's doing it on the left, nowhere near as comfortable. A lot of the time it goes out of play. A lot of the time it's a weak pass. So I think he needs to be on that right-hand side for me. I just don't think he's as comfortable on the left, I feel, when he's running down the line. And that's a big, big difference. And as well, he doesn't seem to be that guy who's going to take the ball, cut inside and shoot and like get a beautiful finish into the far corner. It's only going to be kind of arriving late in the box. That's kind of how he does it, or kind of going through one-on-one like he was today. That's when he's really clinical. So I think today, anyway, I know it's against Doncaster, but in terms of level of performance, much better from Brennan today than we've seen in other games, albeit he did score against Burnley and he did score against City in the Premier League. Danso and Paulinho, an unlikely centre-back partnership. They did quite well, didn't they?
Well, do you know what? If you and I, or all Spurs fans, could have had a choice of what Frank's going to pick as his starting centre-backs, I don't think we would have said Danso, obviously, but with Paulinho, and obviously when the line-up came out, everyone thought it was going to be Gray at the back and Paulinho in midfield. Paulinho was so assured in defence, wasn't he? And as for Kevin Danso, I love this guy. I honestly...
Long throw king.
He's a long throw king, but he's like an old school defender that just defends. I'm so happy we have Kevin Danso. I think he's an extremely good defender. Obviously, he's got two other defenders that are in front of him.
Tough to,
and all the times I keep saying I want a back three. It's Frank going back three. Maybe it's just because I want to get Kevin Danso in because I love him as a player.
Kinski as well. Shout out to him because didn't have much to do, but what he did extremely well. Made a brilliant save from Bailey, who did a Canio-esque volley in the first half, and Kinski had to tip it onto the post with a brilliant one-handed save. That was obviously the main thing he had to do throughout the game. Other than that, came to claim a couple of crosses, and that's pretty much all he had to do. And obviously nice to see Luca Williams-Barnett come onto the pitch for the last kind of 5 minutes and get a little run out. Obviously tearing up in the under-21s at the moment. And a nice little cameo. Didn't do too much, but a little bright cameo from him.
It was. Well, if the third goal that was ruled out for offside had stuck, he was heavily involved in it, in releasing Destiny out wide. So he came on, wanted to get the ball. Like you said, when he first came on, got straight into his defensive duties and went in and dealt with that. Got the ball, had a couple of nice touches, and it was a very proud moment for him and his family. And us Spurs fans now have seen the guy on the pitch, which is obviously refreshing to see. And it's always good to see one of our own come through. So hopefully we will see more of him in this competition if we get a good draw.
Yeah, so the draw, we'll give you to it very soon. It will be on this stream. I think it's going to be in about 10 minutes' time. I predict maybe 15, so we'll give you it to live. Looking at the draw, so the results today, Man City 1-2-0, Newcastle 4-1, Arsenal 2-0 as well. The other teams through Wrexham, Wolves, Wickham, Liverpool, Chelsea, Fulham, Cardiff, Brighton, Swansea, yesterday as well. I can't remember who else went through last week. Who you looking for in the draw? Who do you want? You want
a home tie.
Nice, easy home tie. You just sail through to the fifth round, or get a difficult team out of the way first.
I don't know, because it depends when this draw is now, because it's going to be all within Champions League and everything games. And after the October international break, we got another stacked fixture list.
10-20, there you go, 10-20.
We have another fixture list pile up.